Hey, this is Ronnie LeBlanc from Expedition Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen. It does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hey there, ponderers of the paranormal. You are in the Paranormally Zone, your place for all things paranormal, mysterious, and strange. My name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself. I don't know why I sang that.
Yeah, it's not
It wasn't the best.
it's not lyric worthy.
No, the exceedingly frustrated and flustered Michael Carbno, Mike Double F, flustered and frustrated. That's your new nickname, Double F.
Yeah, at least for now. It shall clear and pass.
This too shall pass. Correct, my friend?
Yeah, it's all just the usual banter that listeners they roll their eyes at, I'm sure, when it gets brought up.
Yeah. Well,
But that's all right.
you need to vent. And as I said, like not even 3 minutes ago, I said, you need to lose yourself into the podcast, Mike. Try and forget about it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you go, yeah, I'm trying. I'm like, oh, my Lord. So and then I immediately felt very sad and I feel like I'm partly to blame for your misery or something, because I'm forcing you to do this podcast, and you're giving me the stink eye right now, and I'm like, what the hell's happening?
If I couldn't do it, I'd say, God dang it, I can't do it.
That is true, and you have said that before. So
I have. When I've had to, I have definitely done that.
Those exact words. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm still trying to convince Mike to drink a beer one of these days again. But you know what?
Well,
He's fine. He's good. He's I'm sure you're feeling quite better with the lack of alcoholic beverages.
Down 17 pounds now.
Well, there you go.
The last I weighed myself.
Now,
so there's that.
Now that necessarily isn't all beer related. You also haven't been eating as much either.
Yeah, I've been changing the way I ate. So the way I eat. So I'm not as bulbous and rotund anymore.
I love that word, bulbous. I don't know. I don't know if it's. Yeah, it's better. It's not. It's less offensive than the word rotund, because you've said that before. I don't like it when you say rotund. It's like, no, come on, Mike, you're not.
I'm rotund, and I live in a rotunda.
Well, you got your skelly on. Do you have your squatching shirt on too, or is that?
I do.
There it is. Gone squatching.
My gone squatching.
That's his podcast uniform, so he's good to go.
Yeah.
Good to go. But hey, we thank you.
I don't
all.
wash it either. I just kind of throw it in the corner until the next podcast.
Yeah, it actually walks off on its own after each podcast episode.
It stands up, and actually when it's laying there in the corner, or standing up in the corner, you can see my man boobs in it still.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It takes a while for it to return to its normal shape, but
yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. And you know what? We want to thank all of you for tuning in right now. If you're new to the program, we hope you enjoy and stick around for a while. Yeah, we talk about all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious here at the Paranormally Zone, and tonight is no exception. This is actually, this topic at hand was requested by a Twitter,
yeah, you did say that.
A Twitter follower from months ago. Maybe a listener. I'm talking to you, Andy Header. Nothing better than Andy Header. See, there you go. There you go right there. I think he's a listener, but if you're not, then you won't hear this. But yeah, we're diving into one of America's most notoriously supposedly haunted roads. We're talking about none other than Clinton Road. Mike.
New Jersey.
New Jersey's own Clinton Road. And yes, all political jokes aside, it's not that Clinton or the other Clinton. It's a Clinton altogether differently and altogether different, I should say. Some of the stories...
Not George Clinton either.
Maybe George. I don't know.
Maybe.
It does get a little wacky, kind of weird, wild stuff. But some of these stories that have allegedly occurred on this very haunted highway, Mike, are downright creepy and eerie.
There's a lot.
A lot. Of course, when we're looking into this, Mike and I are going, we need to visit this road. No ifs, ands, or buts about that one. How long of a drive would that be for us?
No.
Huh.
A couple of days.
Yeah, for a drive for sure. Yeah, but hell, man, take a couple days off, a week off, and it'd be worth it, So, and for the last call, tonight's last call, formerly One Last Take, newly christened as the last call. This is gonna be another good one, Mike. We're gonna be talking about the mysterious Oregon vortex, or Oregon, however you decide to pronounce it. But man, this place is bizarre as well. Another place that would be awesome to visit.
Well, there's a lot of these places around the country.
Yeah. This one.
There's even one that I went to in North Dakota.
What was that one called? Do you remember?
The North Dakota vortex. I have no idea.
ND vortex. It must have been.
I can't remember.
Really memorable.
It's in Medora, North Dakota. One of Teddy Roosevelt's most favorite places, where he has a cabin out there and everything.
Very cool.
The cabin's still there. He's not.
I hope he isn't.
Yeah,
that would be weird if Teddy was still lingering around. But
beautiful place though.
Yeah, this one, and I want to give a live on-air shout-out to my co-host with the Ghost, a paranormal poster boy himself. He, ladies and germs, suggested this very topic for the last call.
I did.
And I want to give Mike a round of applause.
Kudos.
Some kudos to my co-host with the Ghosts. I was really ragging you today via text message saying, Mike, I've
been
do this.
Trying and I couldn't come up with anything.
It was really funny. He was like, I don't know how to describe you, Mike. You seem just like at a loss of not only words, but thought.
Yeah, it was totally gone.
But you did come up with this one, and it's a good one.
Yes, but I'm
proud of you.
I have started a regimen of Neriva.
Oh,
it's good for the brain and keeps. So I got to wait for that to kick in. Okay. Said it could be 6 weeks.
Yeah, that could be a while.
But I've already been on it for half of that, I think.
Do you take? Well, there you go. You only have a couple of weeks to go. Only a couple of weeks to go.
See what happens, and if it doesn't work, then I don't know.
Do you take fish oil? Fish oil supplements?
I have a bottle of it, but I'm not regular with it.
Okay, having a bottle doesn't do anything. You have to actually ingest the tablets and stuff.
Not regular with it, but I do take psyllium at times, and I am regular with that.
That's true, and that's the one that I refuse to take because I'm a paranoid geek. So one of these days.
Yeah, well,
one of these days.
Got to do what you got to do.
I know. Mike is firing on all cylinders. This is going to be a good one, boys and girls. I'm telling you that right now.
After I thought of that vortex thing, you said, see, I knew you could do it. And I said, yeah. And it gave me a headache.
I know. Come on. Well, how many Diet Cokes have you drank now today? How many is that? What number is that?
Enough to have plenty of caffeine.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, if I didn't have enough, then I would have a headache because I hadn't had enough caffeine. But I'm good to go with that.
Are you addicted to caffeine, Mike?
Oh, sure.
Oh, well, hey, at least you can admit it. That's cool. That's cool.
If I don't have it regular, I have a headache.
Well, good for you. More power to you. I'm proud. I'm proud of you.
More power.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Mike, should we just get started here?
Hey, I'm ready. There's a lot to go over with this.
There is
Clinton Road, a dark ride.
This road is approximately 10 miles long, stretching from Route 23 near Newfoundland to Upper Greenwood Lake in West Milford, New Jersey. So there you go. You have the location of said road. I mean, not only are there alleged paranormal occurrences going on here, there are also some creepy ritualistic activities, cult activities, some downright bad shit. Yeah, I'm going to say that. We're talking Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, there's like
shite.
stories of paranormal and just people doing stuff.
Yeah, satanic rituals, real life crimes, Mike. Today I learned, a while back when we were still the Alternate Route podcast, one of our Sick and Twisted episodes, which is now available exclusively on our Patreon page, by the way, and Mike just picked his nose for some reason.
Oh, it's itching.
Oh, okay, sorry.
If I was picking my nose, my finger would still be
It'd
up
still
there.
be up there. That's true. That's true. We covered the one and only, the sick and twisted, demented, frightful Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman himself.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I learned today, Mike, in 1983, the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski, one of his victims, he discarded alongside Clinton Road out into the woods.
I saw something about a body that was found, and it was like
Yes.
frozen or something like that. Or?
That was, I don't know if this particular one was the frozen one. But yeah, that adds a lot of credence to some of these, obviously the real life crime stuff. But whenever there is violent death involved, it definitely adds a little credence to the possibility of a negative residual energy lurking in said area. So,
especially if it's one of his victims.
Yeah. Oh God. And I think, by the way, that Richard Kuklinski only froze like one body, but that's how he got his nickname, was that one that took days to unthaw. I could be wrong. It's been a while since we have done that episode, but one for sure. I'm not sure if he did it to all of them. I know he didn't do it to all of them, but yeah, there you go. Some of the crazy stuff that supposedly happens on said road. Where do you want to start? There's so much.
Well, the most famous story that's on that road, and the most popular, I believe, is, one of the ghost boys.
Oh yeah, the supposed appearance of the apparition, the ghostly appearance of a boy said to have drowned.
Yeah, there's actually, I think, two of them, isn't there? Where one with the coins and one with pushing people out of the way so they don't get hit by a car. Or is that the same one?
That I was under the assumption that was the same one.
Okay, that could be because
the multiple that you may be thinking of, Mike, the two is that there are actually two bridges on this road, and
that's right.
It isn't quite certain which bridge this boy's death is associated with.
Right.
But there is, to my knowledge, just one ghost boy, quote unquote, ghost boy that appears on this road.
Right.
Some of the stories that I've read about this is that if you're driving along Clinton Road at night and you stop at one of the said bridges there and you decide to drop or lay a quarter in the middle of the road, lo and behold, that ghost boy somehow, some mysterious invisible force will return that quarter to you.
Yeah, pop it back up out of the water.
That's another that's another thing where you can throw the coins off of the bridge.
Right.
And then, whoa, guess what? The quarters pops right back out of the water as if being returned to you.
And it's not by a carp.
No, it's not.
Either.
No, those darn coin
because they don't have
carps.
The articulated fingers.
No, they don't have thumbs. No, you're right.
Or whatever you call it. Articulated or?
Opposable thumbs?
Opposable.
Yeah.
Anything.
They don't call them the best co-hosts in the world for anything, boys and girls.
I think they have opposable lips.
They might. Yeah, very, very much so. You just want to go and squeeze those carpy lips.
Oh, you sexy thing.
Yeah, right.
Big lips, like Kim Kardashian lips.
Wow.
That'd be gross.
Mike just threw out a Kardashian reference on the Paranormal Zone. I'm going to edit that out.
They're getting a new show starting.
I don't care.
Yeah, neither do I, but I see commercials for it. And I saw commercials for when their previous show was quitting and they were all crying. And it's like, their last season and their last episode. And now they're back. It's got to be the same crap that we've had to hear about. I'd never watch it.
No, Nope. I'm feeling.
Talk about throwing up in your mouth a few times.
Yep,
but
I'm feeling.
There are people that love it, so
Yeah,
more power to them.
More power to them, but I'm feeling nauseous even thinking about them.
Yeah.
So moving onward and upward. Supposedly there are two rumors as to how this boy supposedly died. Boy/young teenager. One is there was a group of friends traveling the road at night, and they decided to separate for whatever reason, and then upon returning, the rest of the group of friends found their one friend dead on the road. And
Right.
This is supposedly the
Why did the kids stay there
well,
and the other ones left? That's ridiculous.
yeah, I'll have to find that again. That was one of the supposed reasons behind this. But the one that
Right.
people cling to the most is that simply it was a young boy who tragically drowned,
Right.
trying to retrieve like a ball that was in the water.
Yeah.
That's
And
the one
the
that
ghost
people-
boy haunting part of this is actually the most talked about thing that happens on this road,
Yeah.
but not even close to the only thing that happens. But
If you go there, you see that it happens all the time. You peer over the bridge, and that water is just stuffed with shiny coins.
Yeah.
Peering up
Yep.
back at you. I mean, this is a real deal. I mean, whether or not you believe in what you're doing, people do it.
Mm.
So, Mike, let me the first question of the night that I love throwing towards Mike and putting him on the spot. What's up with the idea of returning the coins to the people? Like, they're going to throw the coins into the water, and then this energy somehow returns the coins. Why would that be?
Well,
What would be the point of that? I have kind of an idea. I want to hear what you think about that.
it only happens so often because I mean that stream is full of coins, so it's not like every coin is thrown back.
Good point.
So when the energy is right and the moon is shining bright,
Supposedly, a lot of stuff happens during the certain times of the night during full moons.
Yeah.
I've heard about that as well.
sure. No, I didn't read that, but I just made that rhyme up to
And it was
sound good.
It was good too.
But anyway, it could be an attention thing. It's like, look, I'm here. Maybe it's playful and lonely.
Is there a chance that it is maybe not aware of its existence and let's just say it, not aware that it is dead physically,
Mhm.
and it just thinks that, like you said, it's playing with people? It's just responding over and over. It's kind of trapped in this loop of returning these quarters out of a playful joy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If whatever it is, it's definitely a benign haunting.
Yeah.
It could be off-putting and kind of freaky if that happens to you, but
I
definitely not. And this bridge, well, it's the second bridge. It's several miles south of Dead Man's Curve, which is another spot on there, and just above the old stone iron furnace. And I think the stone furnace, doesn't that have some stories to go along with that as well?
Yes.
So it could be just a very hot spot too. I mean, with these things that are, well, the whole road is a hot spot, but could have some something to do with the energy that's in that specific spot. I don't know.
Well, like you said, Mike, for some odd reason, there are a lot of alleged haunting / paranormal activity in New Jersey itself.
Oh yeah, it's a very, very haunted area.
Now, again, is that because of the layout of the land? Is that because of the minerals? Is that because of the rock sediment?
I think that's a big part of it. Something about water.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of energy that's going to be possibly residual from this road too, because there used to be a town there or a village of Clinton. There's basically nothing left of it there now as far as buildings, but I think you pass by a house here and there. But
when you said village, it reminded me of another supposed oddity that lurks in the woods out of Clinton Road. Supposedly there's a village habitated by nothing but albinos.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh. It just sounded funny when I said that. I'm sorry. No
I could live
offense
there with my pasty white skin
well, with your red eyeball too, you could really
and my red eyeball. Yeah, it's separating further from my
Oh, I can see your
iris. I
can
think,
see
yeah,
your,
so-
I can see his wee iris.
yeah. Just call me Wee Iris.
There is I'm reading a quote here from a Dina who from West Milford. I found a page here about that contains a lot of short stories of people's experiences on the road, and she said that one night when her and her friends decided to visit this and find out for themselves whether or not this was true, when they threw the quarter off of the bridge, they waited for a minute. More than a minute later, they heard another bloop in the water as if another quarter fell in, and it absolutely frightened them to death that they flew back to the car and drove off.
So that was the boy picking up the quarter to throw it back, but he dropped it.
But he dropped it or something.
Bloop.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there could be any number of natural explanations.
It could have been a
that.
fish.
Could have been a fish.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, but you're in there, you're in that state of mind, you're kind of spooking yourself out
sure.
anyways.
You could hear anything, and your mind is going to turn it into something that's grotesquely horrifying.
Oh, right. Now, you did say that, the ghost boy, when it comes to the quarters, that phenomena, that is definitely benign, Mike. But there's also another thing that this ghost boy allegedly does. I wouldn't say
Really?
is very benign. I mean, you mentioned it earlier today. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Well, supposedly you get pushed into the water if you get too close
That's
to the
right.
edge of the bridge.
That's right. Yeah.
That
So
doesn't sound too benign to me.
yeah. Well, it's not deadly, but it's still irritating.
Yeah. Now this irritating. Now,
Unless you hit your head on a rock or
oh
something.
God, or a massive pile of quarters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, another alleged reason behind this is another rumor, is that there's a boy who was hit by a car on the road while attempting to pick up a quarter on the road, and then he got hit. Well, maybe
now that would make this ghost attached to quarters.
Absolutely.
And maybe that might have something to do with him popping them back out at you and like, take your quarter and go before you get hit by a car.
That is exactly it, Mike. Is this part of the legend is if you get close enough to the edge of the bridge, you will be pushed over the water and over the bridge into the water, because it is alleged that this boy is attempting to save your life as if you were bending over to pick up that quarter that he did, and he doesn't want you to get hit by a car. So he's basically saving your life. So
yeah,
I guess we're going back
unless
to the
you do
benign.
hit your head on that rock.
Yeah. Right. There is a dark side to the road, very dark side to the road. Where do you want to start on this? I love the idea of, Mike, I'm not sure how much weight I put behind it, though, the idea of phantom vehicles.
Oh, sure.
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know if we've talked about those when we were the Ultraround podcast or not. I'm sure we did. But what the hell is going on there? We talk about phantom ships. I know that.
Yeah, why can't there be phantom vehicles? I mean, seriously.
It would be the same concept, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the most well-known, well, perhaps the most well-known alleged occurrence of phantom vehicles on Clinton Road, it involves a large black truck. Would you like to talk about that one for a little bit, Mike? This is pretty darn eerie. I don't really like it.
I'm just trying to.
Oh, I put you on the spot too early. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh no, I was perusing through here, and I know that.
By the way, the spot that the boy was allegedly hit by a car is called Dead Man's Curve. I wanted to get that out there.
Right. Yeah. And it's not the Jan and Dean song.
No, unfortunately not. No. But yeah, this supposed large black ghost truck kind of tails you while you are innocently driving down the road at night. Of course, all of it happens at night. Of course it does. Oh, Mike's still struggling. I'm waiting here.
Well,
okay.
I am totally not.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay.
Coming across this, what I was about
That's fine.
that part.
Well, so the weird things, one of the weird aspects about this ghost truck is that people who have supposedly encountered it say that it literally comes out of nowhere and it blinds you from behind with these ultra bright headlights on, and it drives erratically. It's right up on your ass, and it's trying to basically make you swerve off the side of the road. So this is definitely not benign at all.
No,
This sounds downright evil.
Definitely
Well,
kind of a death thing.
Well, Mike, it's okay. You don't have to look it up if you lost your page right now.
I can't find it nowhere.
It's fine, man. I don't want to ask you about the ghost truck though. If there's such a thing as a phantom ghost truck on this road, what the hell is behind that, Mike? What the hell, in your opinion, off the top of your head, what is causing a? Jesus, I guess
back in the 1950s, there were two young punks that were drag racing down Clinton Road.
Well, there you go.
One crashed, died in a fiery blaze, and from there on haunts the place and is pissed off. So it likes to try and run cars off the road.
Now, that was literally off the top of Mike's head. Do not take that for fact. That was,
there's no fact there. There's no, yeah.
Well, it definitely sounds malevolent, Mike. I mean,
yeah.
I like the idea, though, that it's perhaps this energy arises from, like you said, a fiery crash. I mean, I didn't find any history of car accidents on that road that may be behind that. But is there some sort of interdimensional energy that's happening there? Is this thing coming out of nowhere?
That's very possible.
Like literally coming out of nowhere and.
I mean, and with a mission to try and run cars off the road.
Yeah, that's the part that I don't.
You know, and it could have been over any time during the history of the road where there were vehicles on it that maybe somebody was drunk and ran off the road and got killed, and you know, there's just any number of things that can be an explanation, but we don't ever see any kind of a death or something that happened to start this.
No,
with the truck,
even though we're talking about an inanimate object, we're talking about a vehicle here. Is there any possibility that there's an intelligence behind this at all?
Well, there's probably some dead guy spirit in there driving it. That's where the intelligence comes from and manipulates this ghost truck like anybody driving a vehicle.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, what I'm asking there, though, Mike.
You mean is it like a Christine or something?
No, not like a haunted vehicle, but I mean, let's stick with the idea that that's an apparition. That's not an actual physical thing,
right? Because it comes out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere, but it's like, why? If this is real and this is an apparition of a vehicle, a phantom truck. You know, with the bright lights trying to blind you and just coming up on your rear and trying to swerve you off the road. Does that sound more intelligent to you, or does that sound purely residual, I guess? Oh,
there's got to be an intelligence there. I mean, it sounds like it knows what it's doing and it has a mission.
Yeah, that's why it's hard.
You know, unless the living people in the living people in the vehicle just get caught up in this residual haunting that makes it look like they're being chased and run down by this vehicle.
Sure. Okay.
You know, it depends on, you know, where you get caught up in it, but like it said, it comes out of nowhere and there it is on your tail trying to run you off. So I don't know, it's hard to say. We've never been there, haven't seen it, haven't experienced it
for ourselves. Exactly.
Yeah.
Another bizarre thing, Mike, very, very bizarre, is the claim of several people that they have encountered very odd, monkey-like creatures to go along with the
crazy now.
To go along with the albino village.
Well, you know, you're on a ride. You go through by albino village and then you end up going by monkey village. Before you start on this trek down the road, you can stop and get like a bucket full of either some kind of seeds or bananas or or
Hey, anything to
Or,
appease
yeah.
the monkey-like creatures,
something you can feed the attractions along the way.
Right, exactly.
There's a change machine so you can get quarters.
Yeah, right. There you go, right here. Get your monkey feed here. Get your monkey feed here.
Yep. Get quarters for the bridge and
Right, the ghost boy quarters. Right.
Yeah.
Well, people have claimed to have seen giant wolves, Mike. These monkey-like creatures. These odd. Gosh, there's so many different ways you can describe them. Like, you've seen the famous, infamous, alleged cryptid photo of this. It looks like a hairless, skinless, a humanoid biped of some sort with glowing red eyes, and it's like lurching forward towards the camera. Also, people claim to have seen UFOs, orbs, red, blue, and white flashing lights. And the moment I read that, I was like, what? Is that a cop? I mean, are you just being pulled over? What's going on there? But people have said that they thought they were being pulled over. And guess what, Mike? The lights disappear. They vanish.
Yeah. You know what this is starting to sound like to me? What pops into my head?
What's that?
It's like it's like a Skinwalker Ranch of New Jersey.
Hey, I like that. It does.
There's just so much going on that it can't be just because of this road being haunted.
There's
too much going on there. Too much of a variety of things that could be like more like a dimensional thing.
Yeah, there's
through this 10 miles of dimensional. Who knows what's going to come out?
Well, the word portal definitely pops to mind.
Yep, dimensional portal.
I want to go there. Mike, we need to make plans.
I would definitely go. I would drive 5 miles into it, pull off the road and camp.
There you go.
Or by the bridge or whatever.
Please take your back medication with you if you're going to be traversing down this path.
No kidding.
Hey, Mike, here, the Clinton furnace.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
There is a thing here. It says the black truck driven by escaped lunatics chase innocent teenagers. Oh, that's after the Clinton Road and the Castle.
Yeah, Cross Castle is what it's called, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Let's see.
Saint worshippers hide behind every tree, sacrifice goats and chickens, litter the woods like leftover barbecue. And black trucks driven by escaped lunatics chase innocent teenagers over dark pothole-ridden roads. Okay, anyway, so there's a lunatic explanation that somebody came up with, but
I know a lot of people have reported to immediately feel that eerie sensation like they're being watched by something in the woods. You might have just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Strange lights, strange lights that actually beat white streaks upon people's vehicles. So like wow, that is crazy. So like a white light that physically leaves, markings on your vehicle.
And hearing disembodied childish laughter.
That's terrifying.
It's emanate from a remote playground. So there's even a playground there that's wow.
1905, a J. Percy Crayon wrote about the woods. He wrote this. That wrote Beyond the Woods.
He wrote it in a nice magenta.
Yeah,
with a crayon.
With a crayon, very subtle, very easy on the eyes. A little hard to read.
The town of Clinton called him Crayola.
Very nice, Mike. Very good. 1905, he wrote about the woods just beyond Clinton Furnace. He said, it was never advisable to pass through the 5-mile woods after dark. For, as tradition tells us, this was back in 1905, and there was already tradition. Tradition tells us they were infested with bands of robbers, counterfeiters, to say nothing of the witches that held their nightly dances and carousels at Green Island, and the ghosts that then made their appearance in such frightful forms that it was more terrifying to the peaceful inhabitants than wild animals or even the Indians that often passed. So you can tell that was written in 1905. Even the Indians.
Yeah. Wow.
I think we're both looking at the same article now, so that's good.
We are now, and in the same spot. The
Cross Castle, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it was in the woods off of Clinton Road.
Most people remember liken the edifice to something out of a fairy tale or Gothic English novel, rising from the mist. Clinton or Cross Castle, that's how most locals remember it, named for the man who built it, Mr. Richard J. Cross. Just giving you some of the backstory here. I believe that burnt down, did it not? They're like remnant. There's like the ruins of it. They're still there, but it did suffer a fire, and it is
it
pretty
was
much gone.
Destroyed in a fire in 1919. It looks like, possibly. No, yeah, maybe.
I gotta read this, Mike. I mentioned the albinos earlier, so this is what a Brian R. visiting the Clinton Road wrote about the albinos. Sounds like a terrible,
that I need to hear.
Sounds like a terrible CFL team or something. I don't know. We're the Albuquerque Albinos. Woo!
And if we have any albino
I
listeners,
know I'm not making fun. I am not.
No offense meant.
Brian R. wrote, one time when a bunch of us climbed up the walls, we did see something. We were up there and saw two white figures. They were about 100 yards away from our friends on the ground. They couldn't see them from their vantage point. They came to within 100 yards of the group and then disappeared into the woods. When we got back to terra firma, we told them about it, and that's when the story started coming. There was instantly talk about an albino village in the woods. That's just beyond bizarre. As I mentioned earlier, a bunch of unfortunate activities involving the KKK. I don't even want to talk about them. The chants, Mike, the creepy chants supposedly heard, and supposedly if you heard them, some people unfortunately have gone into seizures upon hearing these eerie, creepy chants out in the woods alongside the road. Now, is that purely an individual's unique response to fearing, or to a deep state of fear? They're like inducing a seizure, or is that something kind of odd and unique that is being, I don't know, thrust upon them by
if it happens
something in the woods,
fairly regular, and it's not just like an occasional person that it happens to, there's got to be some kind of an energy there doing that. I believe. Well, I
did actually watch earlier today that some people claim, several people have claimed that while visiting the ruins of Cross Castle, that a lot of them unfortunately have gone into seizures. So there's that seizure thing, and people have reported as having disturbing visions while they're undergoing these unfortunate seizures. Others have claimed to, upon leaving the Cross Castle, when they on the return home, they never lost consciousness, they never had seizures, but they had mysterious bruises on their bodies when they returned home after visiting Cross Castle. What the hell's going on there? I mean, we're all sensitive. We all have mystery bruises showing up every now and then. But how coincidental is that, Mike? If several people claim of having these bruises that they don't know why they would have been there after visiting. Yeah,
and if it's in like a area like that, and they have these seizures and visions, and maybe there's somebody should go there, check it out with do some EMF readings, and there could be some kind of a opening or portal there in that spot that a certain energy with a certain frequency could cause these things to happen. More sensitive people.
Wow, that's a good point.
Possibly, I know, because people went to this castle and even the ruins of them, I believe, and they would party there and things, and there would be people doing satanic rituals in this area, and
I don't like that.
So there's a lot going on there.
And again, it's kind of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It's like, are people going there because of its reputation? Are they going there to perform these satanic rituals because of the history of Clinton Road, or did original satanic rituals conjure up some sort of crazy stuff on Clinton Road?
If there's a very active places, I mean, it's going to bring in, the Satanists and the worshipers that are going to do ceremonies there, because it's of what they feel is a active place with the energy that they need to have go along with their rituals. That's what I think.
Now, Mike, getting back to the crazy monkey things.
Yeah.
I did want to go somewhere with that. Believers, I guess, for lack of a better term, like to connect the supposed appearance of these crazy creatures, these monkey-like things, these unidentified creatures, these giant wolves, what have you, as being linked to a now defunct zoological kind of park that was in and about Clinton Road called Jungle Habitat. It was closed in 1976, and people they say that perhaps these creatures escaped Jungle Habitat before it shut down, and have, Mike, since then basically started a hybrid mating colony and have created by themselves all of these crazy monkey boy things running around in the woods.
So, I guess anything can happen.
There's that.
Creatures that escape and then they have to maybe adapt to their new surroundings.
Yeah. I mean, hey, why not? Why not? Man, there are some crazy things going on in this road, Mike. Yeah, satanic scriptures satanic scripture puzzles being left on walls. I mean, that could be just anybody doing that, obviously, but it's still creepy. I don't like it. Writings on the wall at Cross Castle.
Yeah, Cross Castle here. It shows here too that dungeons where many bodies were found, where Cross Castle used to be.
No kidding. I never saw that.
Yeah, I didn't either until just now. Yeah. It's in the part where it says never get out of your car on Clinton Road.
Oh. Man, that is news to me. And more stuff I do not like.
And then further down is the writings on the wall at Cross Castle. Is that?
Well, let's see here. If you can't tell, boys and girls, right here. We are looking at the same. Oh, that's the one I skipped, Mike. That was involved with the with the KKK. I just didn't want to.
Oh yeah, it was just before the the KKK part started in that little section. Yeah, before. Now, KKK and Cross Castle.
What do you think about supposed stories of people immediately feeling sick when they get on this road? Is that a psychological thing? Do you think, Mike? Or
there you go. It might be that frequency thing again, or that mixed with a psychological thing. People that have heard all these stories and maybe have heard stories from people that say they've encountered things there. They're going to be worked up, But if there is an energy or some kind of a frequency going through there, that's gonna, or like EMF, that can give you that. All those feelings too.
That eerie feeling. Like people say that they feel like an evil, oppressive energy when they get on this road. And like you said, Mike, how often do you hear people claiming that in their haunted houses that's what they feel like, and then you pull out the EMF detector and it goes off the roof,
Yep. And that causing hallucinations or different feelings. Yeah, absolutely. Which would also it just also adds to the fact that something is going on there.
One couple claimed to have seen a massive UFO flying around them just as they passed Dead Man's Curve. A giant flash appeared to them in the night sky, and it followed them down the road, hovered about 250 feet above them in the air, and it followed them for about 5 minutes till they finally pulled over and the light disappeared after they stopped.
See, there's just so many different things going on here that it just makes me think again about that, Skinwalker Ranch of New Jersey thing.
Another there's multiple sightings. There's another sighting of a UFO that the eyewitness claims that this vehicle was, quote unquote, so big it looked like it fit a small army in it.
Really?
But and it disappeared in literally a blink of an eye. Wow. Supposed sightings of a floating dog occur on this road.
Floating dog.
Now, is this an apparition? Is this something totally different? Again, it wasn't floating. It wasn't running so fast on the road it appeared to be floating. It was literally floating.
Up off the ground.
Up off the ground.
Hmm.
Sticking with the dog stuff, their supposed sightings and encounters with a quote-unquote hellhound. Mike, this is, as you said, this is sounding more and more like flipping Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah. It needs to have a lot of investigating done.
More ghost vehicles. Apparently, there's a ghost Camaro that appears on the road. Supposedly, the story was involving a girl racing down Clinton Road in her 1988 Chevy Camaro when she unfortunately slammed into the cement divider on the sharpest turn on Clinton Road and was killed instantly. Again, there's that. I mean, talk about a happening of, or a classic reason behind a residual haunting. Right there. Residual, if not intelligent. What if it's a tragic occurrence like that? I hope to God it's not an intelligent haunting, because that to me makes it more sad.
Yeah.
If they're trapped there somehow, but maybe it's just that energy of her fear, her death, just that giant mess of a situation. Maybe it's just a residual going on there, but
Parts of it could be. What are these ghost rangers patrol the forest?
I love that.
Yeah.
So
that is pretty awesome.
Park rangers.
Yeah.
That. Okay, so supposedly, like, there was people out there camping at night when they were approached by two park rangers who noticed their fire. They were concerned about the fire and they're drinking. The kids are drinking. Ooh, go figured. The park rangers asked if their vehicles would be okay where they were and asked if they would be ticketed. Oh, they didn't ask that. The kids asked that.
Right.
The park rangers said they were fine and no ticketing would be carried out. In the morning, these two campers ventured down the mountainside and approached our cars, and they had 2 summons on the car. But West Milford Police and Newark Watershed Authorities approached us, and we asked them about the park rangers, and they looked bewildered. We then told them that we were speaking with 2 younger men that very night, and they said that they were okay to stay at our camp, our vehicles were okay, and we would not be fined. One of the Newark Watershed Authorities replied, "What did these park rangers look like, and what were they wearing?" We described their appearance, and the authorities told us that there was no park rangers patrolling that property anymore, and that the 2 men we saw that night fit the description of 2 men who were killed on patrol in 1939. Oofta. That's kind of creepy. I mean, talk about maybe perhaps people who don't realize that they have moved on and they're still doing their job.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so definitely intelligent. I mean, they weren't residuals. I mean, they were having a conversation and looked real. It's just they're just still doing their job after all those decades.
That kind of gave me the chills a little bit.
That's crazy.
Doing their job still in the afterlife.
Yeah, just wandering.
Now, is that another interdimensional thing too, Mike? Another interdimensional possibility?
Sure. Absolutely could have. Mob rubouts and the head in the bag.
Oh, God. Yeah. Not fun.
Reading some of your Clinton Road stories made me think of a story a guy I worked with went through. He was riding his bike along Clinton Road when a huge bird suddenly flew out of the woods right in front of him and flew off. He was very startled, so he stopped and got off his bike. He started walking to the woods and another bird came flying out. He thought he recognized the bird type. They were mere vultures, trying to figure out why the vultures would be flying around in the middle of nowhere. He walked further into the woods. He saw a large bag. So he walked over to the bag and started to open it. He saw a human head in it. This shook him up a little.
Yeah, just a wee bit.
Yeah, just a little. So he ran back to the road and started biking out to get a cop. He flagged a passing car, who then notified the cops. This started a long string of events in the police investigation involving a mob rubout leading to a murder arrest.
Wow. That was written by a Tim. He doesn't give a last name, but
Yeah.
that was written by Clinton Road visitor Tim. The body bag on Clinton Road, is that, yeah.
Yeah. So there's so much. I mean, there's tons
this
just
of stuff.
adds to, the energy that's there. But the body bag, this person was coming home one night with a friend, and we approached the curve located in the middle of Clinton Road. There, lying in the road, was someone in a body bag. The blood could be seen on the bag. I put the car in reverse and went back the way I came. We called the police. They found nothing. No blood, no body, no trace of anyone.
Man, if that's true, that is beyond bizarre.
Yeah.
Is that just
Why
another?
would there be a person in a body bag, a bloody body bag? Well, there could have been an accident there, and this was a residual,
right? Yep.
That's there from that.
I don't like that because again, that just it just makes me feel so sad. One more here, Mike. The story from Ron S. claiming that Clinton Road witches can crawl inside your mind.
Yeah.
Now, this is from Ron S. I'll read this as fast as I can. Says that Ron says he started working at Chilton Hospital's emergency room after high school, and he worked the night shift. One Saturday night, an ambulance brought in a woman kicking and screaming with third-degree burns on her legs. She was high on heroin and, get this, claimed to be a witch. Ron asked the ambulance driver where they found her. He said they found her on Clinton Road. She was up there with a group of people worshiping Satan when they decided to, of course, throw her into a bonfire. After we gave her something to bring her down from the drugs, she became violent to the point where I had to tie her down with restraints. She was yelling things like, "My powers are too strong for you, and I'm going to crawl inside your mind." Well, must not have forgot about it. It must have worked because no one has forgot about her. That one could be anything. That one could literally just be someone whacked out on drugs.
Yeah, that could happen anywhere.
That could happen anywhere. And they have the haunted story in the back of their mind anyhow. But my God, really? You're going to throw your freaking friends into the bonfire because you're pretending
I would
to be
say
a
that's no
witch?
friend.
No. Mike, don't ever throw me into a bonfire.
No. Not even if there's any kind of temptation.
No. Well, Mike, we need to wrap up here so we can dive into one last call. But what are your last thoughts on Clinton Road here? I mean, we barely scraped the surface like we usually do. But
yeah, it's a place that it needs a lot of digging into, and I'm gonna go away from this with take away with this from this just that thought of the Skinwalker Ranch connection.
Yep, and I was just gonna say the same thing.
It's
so similar.
just like and. There's other places like the Skinwalker Ranch. There's another one that's not far from Skinwalker, and who knows how many other places in this world there are other ones that are just like it. Mm-hmm. And this could be just one of those many places. Yep,
and for various reasons too. I mean, all these phenomena, Mike, could be mind. A person's mind could be altered by the physical environment around them. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. Nope. A lot of these stories are crazy beyond crazy.
Yep. That could be happening along with actual happenings that are,
And, as we will definitely talk about in our last call section when we're talking about the Oregon Vortex, the mystery of the Oregon Vortex, very similar, Mike, in the idea of the environment, both affecting your mind, how you are interpreting your surroundings, but also B, the environment could be inducing legitimate paranormal activity. Yep. And both are intertwined and they are related. It's a phenomena, that's for sure, and I don't think it's simply described scientifically, poo-pooed by saying, it's just all because of such and such. I think it's very legit possibility that
absolutely
are both occurring there, Mike. Both scientific and stuff that can be explained scientifically, I should say, and also stuff that cannot be explained scientifically. So I'm looking forward to diving into the Oregon vortex. Not literally diving into it because
I don't probably never come out.
I don't want to lose my
If
equilibrium.
you dove into it.
No, I don't think so. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Stick around. Go check out our last call segment from last week as well. Don't miss that one. We dove into the Flatwoods monster, not literally because that thing would have probably killed us. That was interesting time.
I wouldn't have gotten out of that one either.
We're looking forward to it. Hold on. We'll see you for part 2, the last call. Mike, until then, what do our awesome listeners have to do?
Peace out once or twice.
And everything nice. Okay, bye.